Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. Some of the following ideas are contrary to conventional wisdom, but informed by my 3 years as a career and education advisor, plus a Berkeley PhD specializing in evaluation of education, I feel confident that the advice is at least worth considering. Education matters less than you might think. For example, University of Virginia study last year found that even when low-income kids were put in private schools, that cohort did no better nor worse than the control group that attended public school. Conversely, while it's merely anecdotal, I know a few rich parents who here in the San Francisco Bay Area, for political reasons, deliberately sent their kids to low-performing urban schools, and all those kids got into selective colleges and have professional careers. In short, you really needn't be a helicopter parent micromanaging your kid's education. You can relax without shortchanging your child. That said, if only to enhance your child's pleasure, you should do two things at least. Make the one-time effort to get your kid into a school that is academically and socially well-suited, and to occasionally try to get your child into a more desirable teacher's class. We'll talk about both. First, choosing your kid's school. Identify two, maybe three schools to check out. Maybe you'll pick them based on scuttlebutt, desirable geography, and or test scores. To find them out, you just Google the name of your school district and test scores, you'll find it. In making an appointment to visit each school, say that ideally you'd like to be able to wander unescorted. That would eliminate the irrelevant factor of how good the principal is as a salesperson. Probably, though, you're going to need to at least meet with the principal before she lets you loose. Even more likely, the principal is going to assert that she doesn't want classes disrupted, but you may walk the halls and visit one class, perhaps the stellar one that she cherry-picked for you. Should you bring your kid to the school visits? The visual response is yes, but too often kids are too immature to have a wise opinion. For example, they may like a school because the building is impressive, but it's far better to have a school with unimpressive facilities, but with impressive teachers and kids. And if you end up choosing a school other than your child's choice, there's a risk your child might deliberately perform poorly to prove you wrong, or at least find reasons to complain regularly. During your school visits, see if you can focus on kids who you sense are like your child. For example, if your kid is an active, bright boy, look for kids who seem like that both in the classroom and on the playground or cafeteria. In classrooms, you might ask to see such a child's notebook or the school, wherever he keeps his schoolwork. How interesting are the assignments? How well are the papers corrected? And of course, as you wander the halls and peek in classrooms, how engaging do the teachers seem to be? How engaged are the kids? On the playground or in the cafeteria, do you like the quality of interaction? Especially, are they kind as opposed to mean in general? Now just pick, as I mentioned, as long as the school is a reasonable fit, that's fine. Now let's turn to choosing your child's teachers. Few principals would let you choose your child's teacher every year, but fortunately that's not necessary. It's important only in a school year in which one of your child's possible teachers is a far better choice. That may occur just once, maybe twice in your child's elementary school years, and later in your child's school career, he or she will have a given teacher for only one period, so it's rarely worth the effort to try to get your kid into a particular teacher's class. But in a year in which you feel it would matter, you'll have a better chance if you're asked of the principal or counselor who places kids in classes to explain that teacher A is a better fit for your child, not that she's a better teacher. School officials don't like to admit to parents that one teacher is better than the other. That one-time effort to get your kid into a much better teacher's class can make your kid happier for 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, for 175 plus days. That's not a bad payoff for one tactful chat with a school official. Now let's turn to homework. Sooner than later, most kids complain about or even refuse to do homework. If you're lucky, all you need to do is give a thoughtful micro-explanation such as, homework's worth doing because you may learn more, will develop discipline, and it may help you report card grades. And aside from all that, all responsible people do things we'd rather not. So, let's set our regular time when you do your homework. Would you rather do it right before school or go out and play for a while and do it before dinner? Rarely is that going to be enough. Your kid's going to maybe often likely say, oh, I have no homework, or do a slip job of it. In the long run, fights aren't worth it. Best may be to just invoke a bit of guilt to engender intrinsic motivation and then let it go. For example, When you do a poor job on your homework, I know you're not feeling like the kid you want to be. I'm not big on forcing, so I'll leave it up to you. Then let it go. The world's not going to end if the child rarely does homework, let alone does it well. Plenty of successful, contented adults were homework shirkers. Now I want to talk about how you as a parent might help your child for after high school. Among viewers of a video like this, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that your kids are going to go to college, even if they're weak students in high school. No matter the data about colleges, little learning, high dropout rate, monolithically leftist instruction, disappointing employment prospects, and unimaginably high cost, even liberal parents suddenly get conservative when it comes to their kids' post-high school experience. And they dutifully not only push their kids to college, but enroll them in SAT prep courses, urge them to do extracurriculars that appeal more to the college than to the student, like playing tuba or waking at 4 a.m. to do crew. Such parents often help their kids write sob story application essays about the challenges they've overcome, knowing that that's what colleges like to hear these days. That's all foolish. First off, colleges want to appear selective, so they hide the fact that 95+% of the nation's 3,000 colleges are 98.6 schools. They may show a high average SAT, or too often report inflated data, but in fact, to fill their class, they'll often admit some quite weak applicants, and they do that every year. At least as important, at a key formative time in your child's development, you're encouraging prostituting of oneself, ironically in the service of an ill-advised goal, admission to a selective college. Yeah, if your kid can get into a designer label college like Harvard or Stanford, yeah, it may be worth the extra effort. But for the vast majority of kids, the effort's result is University of California at Davis versus University of California at Santa Cruz, or State University of New York at Binghamton versus State University of New York at Stony Brook. Those are inconsequential at best. And if the machinations defy the odds and your child's admitted to a far-reach school, that may cause a worse college experience. Say your college gets into a far-reach school. Chances are he or she will be near the bottom of the class, enjoying the almost half of freshmen nationwide who drop out or work super hard on academics and have little time for the extracurricular and leadership activities that may boost prospects for success more than Beowulf or even the vaunted Bell Hooks. And your child's GPA will be low and won't have stood out as a person, and so won't get professors or administrators mentorship nor career door opening recommendations. It's wiser for high school students to take an only moderately challenging course load and study only moderately, even if it yields some B's and even some C's. Leave time for extracurriculars that use their abilities and interests with little regard to what the colleges prefer. Limit SAT prep to maybe 5 or 10 hours with an SAT prep book. Write college admission essays with minimal parental guidance about some core personal characteristic or experience. No exaggeration, no pandering. Such a high school experience will be more rewarding and lay the foundation for a life wisely led. And if your child's been a poor student in high school, he or she should consider foregoing college, at least temporarily, in favor of, for example, an apprenticeship program, which includes both hands-on training and practical community college courses, or join the military, which provides good career training and, yes, discipline. Another not college option is on-the-job training, which can be especially good if, rather than working fast food or the like, working for you or someone you know on a job that could be a career launchpad. Even if your child's a good student in high school but's burned out on academics, he or she should consider taking a semester or a year off away from behind the student desk. Travel or try out a little volunteer or paid work, maybe at your or your friend's workplace. Your child should take on a project, write something, like visiting fancy private schools around the country and writing about it, creating little YouTube videos, starting a teeny business, whatever. After that semester or year, your child's probably going to find him or herself refreshed and wanting to go back to school or having found a path not requiring college that, at least for now, feels wiser. This more relaxed approach to your child's education will likely serve both you and your child, even if it is contrarian. I do thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko. I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I certainly welcome your comments, hitting the share button below and sharing to social media and or subscribing to my channel. And in any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.